What's up? How we doing, guys? Hey, I am coming to you live from the Barrett-Jackson show here in Las Vegas. Not in the studio today, but if you're at Barrett-Jackson or in Las Vegas, swing by, check it out, come see us at the booth. All sorts of good stuff. That's with Epic Garage Designs. Also, I want to thank EBC Brakes, Complete Racing Solutions. You guys know Coach Rob. Coach Rob has the best programs. He actually uses scientific data to get your program. And also Strapped. You guys know Ride Strapped. And we might be doing a collaboration with Epic Garage and Ride Strapped here coming up pretty soon. So look for that, possibly. So anyway, guys, and remember, if you're in the comments section, I read through the comments section, and I'll be picking somebody. What I do is I pick I'll let you know when you win. I'll read it on the air the next week, and you win goggles or glasses from Ride Strapped. All you got to do is email me at chriscookseymedia@gmail.com or head over to my Instagram and message me over there. So, all right, guys, without further ado.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
All right, guys, so I want to talk a little bit about World Supercross and Super Moto Duper World Cross. One is an actual world championship, and one of them is in a national championship. There's zero logic, and I love how I crack up how they point out in the Super Duper Cross how the riders are international. Listen, I could be in Las Vegas and play a pickleball tournament, and if there's somebody from Canada, Sweden, and Norway playing in my bracket in a Las Vegas regional pickleball tournament, it's still a Las Vegas regional pickleball tournament. Just because people are from another country doesn't make it a World Series. To make it a true World Series, it has to travel. You have to have races on different soil so that, like, people get their home races, their away races, and that's it. Like, explain to me how that works other than blatantly, just 100%. This is how transparent and how dumb they think you are. They think you're dumb enough to realize that this is a world championship, and that the World Supercross isn't a world championship. Really? No, but that's the logic that Feld and MX Sports, that's what they think of the fans. I don't know about you guys, but that's insulting to me. Just call it Super Motocross Championship. If you don't want to call it National Champion, just call it Championship. Until you leave the country of the United States, it's not a world championship. It's a national or regional event. At that point, to make it a world event, you have to include other nations. It's silly. So anyway, that's my point on that, and I'm excited. World Supercross coming up. Oh man, the guys, and I'm glad Grant Harlan is racing World Supercross. Watch this guy. Yes, he's got plenty of Super Motocross points, but Grant Harlan's a guy that's taking the Weston Pike route. I'm excited to see him. I look for him. I bet he's a top 5 guy. He's really taking that next step in his career, and it's fun to watch him. And I know some people close to him, and this guy's a bull, man. He is like the second coming of Weston Pike. He's a badass, man. I was kind of going to leave this alone, talking about Ricky Carmichael and Daniel Blair and what happened, but I happened to take a peek at the Vital MX forum. Man, those guys are idiots. They're so dumb. There's a guy, Don M. He really hates me so bad. It's probably Davey Coombs under a different name, which would make sense. Or he's connected to MX Sports. I have to think there's something going on there. But to call me a liar, I would ask, on what? What have I lied about? What I showed with the Daniel Blair video with Ricky Carmichael, that was not boys being boys. Boys being boys or busting balls on camera is fine. But he literally forced Daniel Blair to finish his segment at a different spot.
There's a lot of jumps on this track. You couldn't have picked a different one?
No, well, we wanted to come to the middle of the section so I could... Well, go get your popcorn.
All right, guys, I'm back, and
I talked to some people close to Daniel. I'm not going to say Daniel because Daniel is being politically correct. Those of you that don't understand this don't realize he wants back in that booth. He didn't want to leave. This is his dream to be the guy. And he can't come out and agree with me, who's going nuclear on the situation. He has actually got to steer away from me. But I know people close to him, and they agree with me. And honestly, I was kind of advised by some of the people close to him, you should probably do this video. He's not going to comment on it. He's not going to have my back. He's not going to save me. I said, I don't care. As long as it's the truth, and that's what actually happened, and that's the way it went down, I have no problem putting it out there. And that's what I've done. And now I cannot wait for Redbud. Wait till you guys see Hayden Deegan on that soft dirt. And yes, I've become an all-in on Hayden Deegan guy. I love his attitude. I love his post-race interviews. I hope he can maintain this type of authenticity, and just sometimes he says the unpopular things, kind of like I do a little bit. It's cool to see that in the sport. And I was watching a little bit of Adam Cincerillo's podcast, and he talks about how there's this mold that they want to have all the motocrossers fit into.
People need to have the permission to be themselves, and I think right now, and I could be wrong, but in this kind of in the landscape we're in, it's really easy just to fall into this one category that you feel like you have to be here.
And you just have to drop right into that. Break that mold. If you break that mold, we will actually see a lot more entertaining guys, better racing. It's just going to be more fun, and everybody will be happier. The people who contribute to this moto, what you're supposed to do, guys like Davey Coombs, people like Feld, that don't know shit, and all they're doing is protecting their own interests. Kind of like when the NFL didn't want players taking their heads or helmets off for the longest time, because they thought, okay, well, we want the brand to be bigger than the players. We don't want the players to have more power. That is what Feld and MX Sports are doing to try and keep these guys under wraps. And that's the way it is. Because that way, the sport is bigger than the person. That way, if a person ever goes sideways and points out the fact that nobody pays any money in this sport other than the sponsors, the manufacturers, it's essentially a sponsor-driven career. It has nothing to do with the actual purse from the promotions, from the events, from the TV contracts. Yes, Super Duper Cross gives a little bit back, but not what it should. I mean, honestly. And that's what I told Davey Coombs, and that's where we first went sideways. I told him we need a 40 to 50% split with the riders, performers, and teams. They need to be able to be profitable to go ahead and make this thing work. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm at Barrett-Jackson, checking out all these old cars, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm convinced Barrett-Jackson is a place, and this is tinfoil hat time. I 100%, I see some of the vehicles that go for the prices they do. I think a lot of these people bidding on these, I think they're cleaning money or money laundering. I saw an S10 pickup, 1985, not very nice, go for $27,500. Seems suspicious. And I saw a brand new Hummer go for like $13,000. It's really all over the board. It's crazy. I don't understand it, but if you want to launder money, I would suspect that this is an amazing place to do that. But like I say, this is pure speculation. This is tinfoil hat. I'm just trying to figure out how the hell these guys do what they do and why they do what they do. So